Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of the 60XP Halloween editions. Today, we're going to be talking about Fear Street Part 3
The last one.
of the trilogy. Oh, yes. Up in 1666.
Yeah, I know you're all excited about it. You already listened to our first two movie reviews on it, so now you get to listen to the last one, see what happened, where it all goes, as all the questions get answered.
Indeed, indeed. So, this one basically is going to talk to you about the origins of Sarah Fierce's curse. They're finally revealed as history comes full circle on a night that changes the lives of shady siders forever. This movie is rated R for strong violence, gore, language, some sexuality, and brief drug use, much like our 60XP show.
And just a reminder, you can watch any three of these movies on Netflix. If you haven't yet, I would watch it now before you listen to our commentaries on it, because there will be spoilers throughout this.
Indeed, there will be. So now I will let you with our storyteller, Ciro, as he takes you through a journey in Fear Street.
I'm telling the story again. I just thought we were doing the last one because it was my favorites. But okay, I got this. I'm ready. So this one kind of carries like the second one. This one goes basically right after the second movie. And basically at the end of the second movie, they kind of show Deanna got a vision once she put the hand of Seraphir into the body. And she kind of got the vision that she's in Seraphir's mind throughout her time being in her settlement, the original settlement before it was divided into Sunnyvale and Shadyside. So in the beginning, they kind of just introduced all the characters at the time with Seraphir, which you will notice is not the same characters, but the same actors and actresses that was in the first two movies. So that's pretty interesting to see. The characters that kind of got killed off in the first movie with Deanna's friends. And then also in the second movie, you get to see him here again as the actor and actresses playing different characters on here. So interesting to see that. And basically how they kind of introduce them is they go around and they kind of have their own phrase saying, a full moon rise before nightfall. So Six knows what that means, right?
The what?
A full moon rises before nightfall. Yeah, you just don't want to tell them, huh? It's a secret for them, huh? You gotta let them know, Six.
Yeah, just Google it.
Basically, it was their phrase of telling all the kids that they're gonna have a party that night, and they didn't want to say it bluntly because there was adults around. And so they would say a full moon rise before nightfall, and the response they would give them is a good night to enjoy the fruits of the land.
Like apple?
Yes, different types of apples, but yes.
I like apples, man.
So before they go to this party, you remind me of what was it? There was a thing on YouTube. I think it was a little boy. It says, "I like trains." I like apples. But anyways, if you haven't seen that YouTube video, it's funny. It's just a kid. I think they asked him like a question that had nothing to do with trains. He goes, "I like trains." So anyways. So Seraphir, which is before the party, it goes to some kind of witch's hoven. I guess just research, just looking for some stuff, curious about some items, and sees a bunch of witchcraft supplies, and then there's a book, and kind of you can tell this some stuff is like about sacrificing and doing devil's work and all that, and not friendly stuff, not good stuff on there. I wonder if this is going to go even more into it, but we'll see. Then she finds a book, and has themes of like Azilla, Abaddon, Satan. So it's probably that book that she needs to read.
But it's just enough, the one she needs.
Yes. Well, the person that lived there found her and kicked her out. And so, she's like, you know what? That's too much stress for me. I'm going to go, to this party now. And And basically, like the response says that once they go to the party, the response a good night to enjoy the fruits of the land. Apparently, there's like some berries there they had that would get them high. So everybody's having a good time. I think it's one of the characters, I don't remember, but he gets a little handsy on Hannah, which is
which is completely inappropriate, folks, for the dark times even.
Yes, even for dark times. But it was Hannah Miller, which was the same character that is in the first movie. What's her name? Six, you know her name.
Who? Yuli?
Deanna's girlfriend in the 1994 movie.
Cindy?
No, Sam. So
Sam. Close enough.
Yeah. Cindy was the second movie. I know the second movie was way better than the first movie, but still, the first movie did happen. So the same character, they kind of built the same. In the first and second movie, they kind of had the same relationships in the third movie that they kind of did in the second one. So, for example, like Sam and Deanna, they had the same thing with Sarah and Hannah. Cindy and Ziggy, when they were sisters in the second movie, which they're different characters, but they're also sisters in the third movie. So they kind of have some things. Josh and Deanna are brothers and sisters, and then I think it's Sarah and somebody I forgot, but Josh's character also were brothers and sisters on there. So they kind of kept the characters' relationships, even though they were different characters.
You mean Henry's? Sarah's brother? That's what you're talking about?
Yes. See, you got me. I got it. See?
Gotta get you back on track.
Yeah, so they won here. Sarah kind of saves Hannah from a guy that's being a little handsy, which, like success, it's wrong. Very, very wrong.
It's the Dark Ages, man. Come on.
Then after that, they go and they start talking, giggling, and they start making out. Getting, very friendly with each other.
By friendly, you mean handies with each other.
Say that again?
Handies with each other.
Yeah, like they would touch each other with hands. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
I like apples. But yeah, going back to it. You're what, on the forest part? When they're all gathered there with the berries, dancing around, prancing around, good old times, getting high, like
they're having a good party, having a good time. Yep.
Like back in my 20s when we used to get drunk and stuff, all that good stuff.
And you ate berries and you got high. Yep.
Yes. Like and there was handfuls, all that stuff.
Yep. Handfuls out there, but yeah, you remember that. And you went to a friend, you got you start making out with him or her. So yeah, you got this.
Carry on while I look for apples.
So throughout the makeout session on that, you see somebody in the back, a mysterious shadow.
Ooh, who could it be? Could it be Edward Cullen from Twilight?
Oh wow, I didn't think about that. You've been watching Twilight lately?
I like apples. Carry on.
And so that runs off, and so they stop and they start going back home. And after the party, they're like, time to sleep in. But they realize, the night after that, the day after that, a lot of weird stuff is going on. There's maggots in food.
Man, it's the 1666. Yeah. It's the Dark Ages. Everything is wrong.
I don't know, man. They had a scene that they had a mama pig eating her baby pigs.
Totally normal for that time.
Yeah, I think that's pretty intense.
Have you ever lived on that age?
I have not. Have you?
Then you wouldn't know.
You're not gonna answer my question.
So yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, the mama pig ate the baby pigs. The water was poisoned because someone threw a dead dog in the well. Like a lot of weird stuff is going on. Also, one of the things is you see Hannah's dad, which is the pastor, kind of going through a similar situation that you saw in the last movie. Hearing voices, going a little crazy, being very just quiet.
Again, that's just something normal that happens back in those ages.
So everybody's like that. Nobody talks. They just stand there and look at the window.
I lived through some times. I can tell you it's completely normal.
Yeah. You keep saying like you're a pro at this.
I mean, wouldn't like let's say you're saying the pigs ate themselves. No, the mom ate the pigs. I mean, after all, this makes sense. Let me tell you why it makes sense right here.
Go ahead.
Why would she eat the pigs? She's a pig herself. She's hungry, so she ate the pigs. Why the dog fell in that well? Right? Is it well?
Well,
yeah, well. I'm thinking of something else, but yeah, why he fell? Dogs are nosy. He probably got up there, he was looking and he fell. Or he was thirsty and he fell. It's all normal stuff that happens every day.
I know dogs are nosy, but okay. Okay. So this happened all that day?
Yes, man, there's all kind of explanations for all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it even makes sense, but okay.
You need to get out more into those times.
Okay, so let's go to the next. If you're talking about that, let's go to the next scene when. So you're saying it's normal that the pastor locks the door to the church with about 12 kids in there, cuts their eyes out, and watches them die?
All right, kids. If you're a little easy on the stomach, this is a time where you might not want to hear this part for the next probably minute. But that happens all the time. They find people poisoned with cups in church when the pastor closes doors.
Yeah, but poisoning them is different than cutting their eyes out.
It's the different times, man. Dark ages. You gotta do with what you got.
But what was the purpose of him cutting their eyes?
What was the purpose of them being poisoned?
To go on to a better life.
Exactly.
But why make the process painful?
Why not? Dark ages. Everything should be painful.
Okay.
There's an explanation for each stuff that happens, Zero.
Okay. So throughout that, the pastor locked himself into the thing. So the town is trying to break in there because they know some of the kids are missing.
Again, another thing that happens every day in a normal life. Kids go missing all the time, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll give you that one. You get that one, but that's not the mysterious part. The mysterious part that they cut their eyes out and cut his own eyes out also. And also when they ended, Deanna saw that one of the kids was her, or Seraphia, when one of the kids came in there was her brother.
Henry, yes.
And so the pastor wanted to go in and got a weapon and about to stab Seraphia. And then he gets stabbed by a pitchfork by Solomon.
Good old pitchfork back in the 1666.
And that's true. And you guys will hear that in our episode with the pitchforks and the torches going to a castle, rioting. Might about some scientists building something, but that's a different one.
You know what that reminds me of? That pitchfork. The first thing that comes to my mind. You remember that movie, The Crazies?
Oh yeah.
Was it with Josh Duhamel?
Yep.
Oh, there's some good pitchfork action in that movie too, folks. Mm-hmm. You can check that out. That's a good movie to watch.
That is a good movie.
Yeah.
I think they have something similar like The Happening and all that stuff. I think The Crazy was better at it than.
But going back to Fear Street, carry on, Zero.
Yeah, and so through that, the town has a meeting. And I guess they knew that Six wasn't there, so they were talking crazy. They're like, no, this isn't normal. Something's going on. The devil's got their land. And so, they decided to blame two girls. Why?
Yes, it's logical because why does it always has to be blamed on the devil, Zero? Can you tell me that?
Because the devil's evil.
Who decided he was evil?
God. Well, it depends on what thing you go on. Because, if you say that, it's Lucifer, and Lucifer got threw into hell because of Zeus. But it's just depending on what kind of type of thing you believe in.
But why did God say he was evil? Why did God decide he was bad?
Because he knows all.
How do you know that? Are you God?
I'm not God. Because I don't know all.
Are you disclaiming it right now? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying because I don't know all.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we can't be saying Satan is bad. I'm just saying, cut the poor guy some slack. He's had enough over the millennia. You know, he's just a good guy trying to have a club in LA and have a good time. That's a documentary, right?
I think that's. Oh, is that a documentary? I don't think it's a documentary.
Oh, Lucifer is not a documentary?
I don't think so.
Carry on, Zero. Then.
That's a lot of like hidden cameras that they don't see that as a documentary.
If it was pretty good.
Well, it must have been because Netflix saved it. So, like I said, they blame the two girls. Then they chase the two girls. Yeah, because, why not? So they're witches.
We don't say the W word here.
Yeah, well, let's just go with this. Hannah and Sarah was playing hide and seek, and Hannah was a very, very bad hider. So she got found really quickly. But Sarah was a more professional hider, so she was able to hide herself from them. Then she goes to like the base, like she goes to Hannah, which I don't know why I don't have anybody like there. Like you would think that she was going to go to Hannah anyway, but I guess whatever. People they don't know how to guard people over back in the 1660s.
Dark ages, dark times.
So, yeah, and so she talks that, and then that's when they're like, Sarah's like convinced saying, "Well, I don't care about this town because they're gonna say we're a witch anyway," which is pretty. The town's just trying to protect themselves. I don't know why she put so much pressure on them.
Again, folks, that's the expressions of Zero. We do not condone the W word in this program.
Witches.
Yes.
Witches.
And you're canceled.
And so after that, she kind of states that, if they want a witch, I'll give them a witch. And so she's gonna go to that. She was gonna go get that book. I guess make a deal with the devil. That's what it sounds like she was gonna do. But she was too late. By the time she got there, the lady that lived there was dead, and the book that she saw that had all those, sacrifice for the devil, was gone.
Ooh, Professor Zero, who took the book?
That's a good question. And we'll wait, and we'll let Timmy and Jimmy answer that.
Oh, they're still alive on that time. That's true.
Yes. That's why I got them involved. Which doesn't make sense. Well, anyways.
He's thinking about Timmy and Jimmy.
Yeah, well, because, supposedly in our thing, they died in the
1980-ish. Not really, because they died last year, man. Because it was last year that we went back to that jungle.
I thought we recorded that. I thought it was like 20 years ago or 30 years ago.
No, we just went back last year to that jungle. They died last year, but they're alive in the past.
Yeah.
It's complicated. This is more complicated than Back to the Future. Keep tracking with Fear Street. Don't lose yourself, man. Keep it together. You got this.
So Sarah, the only friend that she trusts is Solomon. So she goes to Solomon's house.
Who is Solomon?
One of her friends, one of Sarah's friends. Why are you asking these questions? Watch the movie.
I mean, I'm just testing you to see if you actually watched the movie.
So she goes to Solomon's. She goes to Solomon's, and then I guess everybody at that same time wanted to check Solomon's house. So Sarah hides, and Sarah finds something. Like I said, she's not only is she a good finder, she's a good hider, but she's also a good seeker. She found the book that she was looking for underneath Solomon's house, with like the familiar sign on the ground that everybody's seen, with the familiar blob that we all see. And so Sarah's like, oh, this is the book I was looking for. And she sees everything, and she goes, Solomon did the curses. Solomon made a deal with the devil because he said his life wasn't worth anything, and he just wanted his life to be good. So all the answers that Six just stated earlier this episode was wrong because Solomon just said that it was him and it was a devil. So even though you're protecting the devil, Six, it was the devil.
Technically, there's a good explanation for these folks. Even Toshiro doesn't like the explanations. He's gonna get one right now. He's gonna get school hard. And I don't mean on the new Guns N' Roses song. What I mean is, bear with me here, right? So it wasn't the devil's fault. Because it wasn't the devil who made the deal. Who made the deal? Solomon, a human. So it's Solomon's fault. Solomon did it all. The devil just offered. And if you say yes, well, who's still the bad guy here? Solomon. Carry on, Ciro.
So is it the same thing as a supernatural with the crossroad demons?
Yes, because you're the one. He's not bothering you. He's right on his habitat, minding his own little business in the crossroad, with the trains playing and going around. And you just happen to invade his house, go there, make him come out like, hey man, I need a wish from you, And he comes out, and well, he already tells you, you already know it's gonna be a sour deal. Why would you keep making the same mistake over and over again? I'm not saying I made a deal on the crossover, but when you usually make a deal at the crossover, you don't get all the details. But it's on you to know the details.
Like a contract.
Yes. So there, folks, there lies the truth.
Yeah, I feel like what Sam and Dean does it and trap him. That's better.
Oh, there's a series about that?
Yeah.
Cool.
So now, I guess she figures it out. Solomon tries to talk Sarah into saying that, hey, it's worth it. Just be with me. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's not how I remember. I remember him being kind of mad and trying to yell at her and take it from her.
Well, he was trying to say that he was trying to first convince Sarah to be on his side, but when Sarah said she wasn't, that's when he.
You know why? Because she's a witch.
Yeah. Explain that.
Well, she's a witch and Solomon's a good guy, so they couldn't be together.
You just said Solomon was a bad guy. You just said it was Solomon's fault that he brought the devil out.
Keep up. Try to keep up, folks. Keep going.
Okay. So one of the cool things about this is when you'll get a little explanation on this, and because throughout the first two movies you see slow flashbacks of it, but it's like 2 or 3 seconds long. So you don't really get the hint of it, but it's like her screaming. So usually when you see somebody screaming like that, they kind of think of her as evil. But now when they did that, they see like she screamed because they figured out Solomon cut her hand off. She didn't cut it off herself, and so that little skit of her like running off or screaming is really her screaming in pain and kind of running off. So I thought that was pretty neat how they kind of put it all together from the first 2 movies
and explain it to you here on the third one.
Yeah, on there, and then kind of slowly show that Sarah Fear wasn't the bad person. It was Solomon.
Was she?
She wasn't. And so through all that, they do a little fight scene. She gets chased. She gets close to the people at the town to tell everybody that Solomon's evil. And Solomon grabs her and says, I found her. Here's the witch. She's the one who did it. And
because he's a good man.
Yep, he just saved in the town. So you got that. And then they found her. And then before they hung both Sarah and Hannah, they stated that Sarah said, I tricked Hannah into doing this. She's not evil because she wanted to save Hannah. And so Sarah was the one that kind of got hung. But before that, she cursed Solomon and said that, hey, you will always remember me. I will be your final breath. Like she kind of did a curse on there. And so I guess once she got hung, I guess the story of Sarah being the bad guy kind of got brought up on there because no one knew about Solomon.
Because Solomon's the good guy.
Yeah,
no pun intended. Do you wanna say something, or are you trying to save it for the end of the episode? Like, do you wanna say his full name?
I'm about to say, yeah.
Oh, I got ahead of you. All right.
Okay, yeah. So through all this, the cool thing you see is you see that rock also in there, and you see Hannah Miller's dad, the pastor, which was the first name, and you saw that he's the first killer. But what Six was talking about is later on you learn that Solomon is Solomon good.
He's a good man.
Good man.
You finally get it? You finally get what I was trying to do, Cito?
I see what you did there.
Man, it took forever, but we finally got there.
Well, with all your explanation before, you kind of lost me, so I just...
Cito just thinks I'm crazy talking nonsense, but I've been saying good the whole time. And who can you put good with? Well, he'll keep explaining it to you.
Solomon Good, which is Nick Good's ancestor, which we learned...
Is Nick's good father?
No, ancestor. But
grandfather.
Ancestor. But
Great-great-grandfather.
Ancestor.
Great. What goes after that? Greatness. His Holy Majesty, the King of... what's the little town called?
Shadyside or Sunnyvale?
Sunnyvale. Great. Make good greatest ancestor. Fine, you win ancestor. Fine.
I knew I would. But before they kind of went back to it, you kind of see that Sarah's friend buried where they buried the body underneath the hanging tree, which in the second movie, that's what they said that she got buried to. When they went there, they didn't find her. The reason that is they explain it here, saying that later on her friends buried her up and took her somewhere else to bury her, which I don't know why, but I guess they wanted her to have a proper burial. I don't know why moving her would do that, but that's when they moved her into the forest, which that's in the first movie. That's when they find the body on there. And so they kind of explain throughout that, like, whenever one of the curse she does is she's trying to show the truth to everybody. So throughout the first and second movie, you see, like, when they bleed on her hand or her body, they kind of get glimpses of these, but because I guess the curse wasn't as strong as she needed to be, she couldn't show everything. So the things that she did show, it just didn't make sense to them. But now that you watch the 1666 version, you kind of see what happened with all that, and that's when we go to 1994 Part 2. Deanna comes back from the visions and knows everything about it now.
And she's ready to fight the good fight.
The good fight. I see what you did there now. See, I'm there, caught up now. So she goes in, she tells Josh about Sheriff Nick Good, because he's not so good.
Because as you remember, on the first part, he seems like just that ordinary sheriff you will have on your horror movies. Like, who doesn't believe the teenagers, and, like, he doesn't care about anything. And, he's not that big of a, what's it called, a protagonist, the first one. But now that it all ties up, you're like, oh, damn, he's actually the villain.
Yeah. Because in the second movie, he was a protagonist, but he was somewhat of a hero. Because supposedly he's the one that saved Ziggy.
Right.
So Deanna tells Josh what happened. Basically, the concept of it is good gives a name to the devil, writes it on the stone. The devil takes over that person and kills. Basically, the devil feeds off that person's blood. Shady-siders. Good gets what he wants. He becomes sheriff. His brother becomes the mayor. They kind of have that. They make the city side even worse, and they make Sunnyvale even better. So it's basically the process on there. Then they go to Ziggy's house and explain to Ziggy, and Ziggy kind of thinks back in the 1978 and thinks of, like, cue words that Nick said to her that at the time didn't make sense, but now that she knows the truth, makes sense. Like, one of the things he said is basically like somebody people are getting killed is my fault, but I'll make sure you don't get killed. Something to that nature. I'm paraphrasing on there. But basically, it says something like that. That at the time, I guess Ziggy thought that he was a camp counselor, so it's his responsibility. But now it's how he said that, and how she thinks about it, it's because he's the one that caused the curse, and he's saying that he's making sure that Ziggy stays alive throughout the curse. So throughout that, they pick up a guy that you see in the first movie that sheriff got arrested because he was spray painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the weirdest thing to me. They're like, hey, you want to kill the sheriff? He goes, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like, it was the weirdest thing on there. But later on, when they go through it, he goes, you guys serious about this? Like, I guess he's like, I thought you were just kidding.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, you remember the first one, the sheriff actually had arrested him.
Yeah.
He was in the jail cell, and Josh helps him out.
Yeah, with the
little bobby pin.
Yeah, bobby pin, so he could get himself out of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is how he escaped. And so they go to the mall, and that's when they set up the big trap for Nick Good. And basically, what they're going to do is they're right now the what we call them, killers.
Killers.
They're after Deanna now, so they kind of got her blood and kind of pushed it around and everything, kind of had it in squirt guns, and so they could kind of guide them to where they go, because you learn in the first movie that they're after the person's blood.
So what they do is basically they go in the shopping mall, right? They turn on the lights off, and they pour blood all over the floor and stuff, where they actually want the killers to go, the cursed killers. And the way they put the blood on the floor is like for them to go into certain stores, and then they're gonna shut down the store gates, and they're gonna capture them, hold them there till they can actually break the curse. And they have squirt guns, which the squirt guns probably have blood, and they set up all these little traps to help them out throughout. Good old-fashioned horror movies. Not everything goes according to plan, but yeah.
Yeah, like that's the plan on there, and like it says, normally in those horror movies, they don't all go according to plan. I don't know. I just felt like those killers could destroy those gates, but maybe those gates are stronger than I thought they were. Because I mean, I see them. I don't remember much on there, but I could have sworn they went through a lot tougher stuff.
I guess that shows you that it's basically there's no human form left there. It's just like zombies. They're like zombie-minded.
I guess that could be it. And now that I think about it, I don't think the first movie they ever went through anything. You couldn't kill them. Like I think they put a bomb in the bathroom in the first movie, exploded, and you could tell there's like a bunch of their pieces all around.
Yeah, it's like just a bunch of black goo coming back together, slime, and that's what they're made of. So it's like it's not the real physical body that they had at one time. It's just, you could say it's just like part of the devil or something, the blood of the devil or something just coming, and it's just like a minion of it, and it's just control, and that's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have free thinking, free will. It's just you're just designed to go kill, and that's your only job. But you're not able to think.
Yeah, I think you're with that, because when the plan didn't work out and they broke free, one of the things that they did to kind of guide them on there is they threw like Deanna's blood on another killer, so the killers would attack each other, which I think was pretty genius, and kind of proves your point on there, saying that they're not minded. They're out for her blood, and they're going to go for her blood. If it's on somebody else as a killer, then so be it. I don't think I talked much about that in the first movie, but I think that's one of the things that was weird on the first movie, because like they killed a lot of characters that had nothing to do with them. And I'm like, why? I mean, if that's what they're thinking of, I know why they want to make it more scary and have more kills in the movie, but I just wish I don't know, if they said if it was a doctor and all that stuff, and they did some kind of surgery on it, so they had a little blood on her, something like that. I wish they had, or a trash person that has the blood in the trash can, something to that nature. But the third one, they kind of showed that a lot and pushed it on there. I think at first a couple cops go in there that's not Nick Good going, and then the killers kill them. And then there's the fight with Deanna and Nick Good. And so...
I guess it's like you said, it has a little bit of plot holes.
Yeah.
But
did you see the little gamer thing they put out with Josh stated? He told his sister up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
With extra code for extra lives for Konami. I was like, what is that supposed to mean? Is she gonna get extra lives now? Is she gonna die and come back or something? But yeah, they fight. Then when they I think they pour blood on Nick Good, Deanna's blood, so the killer went after them. Nick Good escaped, ran off. Deanna chased them. Everybody else was still messing with the killers. And then so at the end, Deanna finds Good. But through all this, Sam, which is possessed, escapes and goes after Deanna.
I totally forgot about Sam being possessed till you mentioned it now.
Because they don't really show much on it. But then, Sam goes in, starts choking Deanna while they're fighting. I think there's a moment that Sam, I guess, kind of gets released of the curse or all that stuff, and Deanna is so heartbroken and so in love, she just smashed her head against the rock. Good old love. And at the end of that, I believe Deanna kills Nick Good, and the curse is broken. And so, one of the funny things I liked after that, when the curse is broken, is before you kind of see, everybody's starting with their relationships, everybody's good. I think Ziggy reunites with Miss Lane, Nurse Lane, because you can see in the second movie that they kind of had a close relationship on there. Josh meets because he did a lot of online speaking, online chat. Wow.
AOL chat at the time.
Chat, yeah, that he met the person that he was talking to. Dina and Sam resumed their relationship. They kind of have a date on there. But prior to all that happening, you see that Deanna and Sam go up because once Nick Good died, Sam wasn't possessed anymore. And Sunnyvale, which I think they never had death before, you just see a guy come out of the house and gets run over and killed. So it shows that the curse is broken. That's it's not all going to Shadyside. Some of it's going to Sunnyvale now. And
yeah, but at the end of the movie, you remember somebody took the book.
Yeah, they say mid credits there's an unknown person that takes the book. So I don't know if they're going to do a continuation or if they're just doing that for mystery purposes.
I mean, they could. They got material, and Fear Street is more than just those 3 parts. There are more books about it. Mm-hmm. So who knows? Also, cool trivia fact about this. You know that in the whole 3 movies, on the third one is the only time they actually mention the name of the street, Fear Street.
Oh, is it?
Now the more you know with 6.
There we go. Hey, look at that. You're throwing out knowledge out there. Was that something Google that told you that?
No, I just came up with it. Did you see me search something on Google now, man? No.
That's when you did. Okay. But like I said, they ended the scene, like I said, with the book being taken again. But that's basically the 3-part movie, which, besides the first one, I enjoyed the third one. The third one was pretty good. Second's my favorite, but the third was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, second and third one makes more sense. First one, it's kind of a little bit all over the place. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the second and lastly, the third one, I do enjoy going back to those Dark Ages times. It's just like how I remember it. And, it's always good to remember.
Yeah. I like the third one because one of the things that I was scared of is I was scared that I can explain everything that happened, right? Because you know me, I need explanation on all this stuff. And I think the third one, they kind of went through it and they explained it and tell you what happened, how it happened, and why people got confused or why they thought it was Sarah. Because at the time, everybody thought it was. Except for the Good family, which I knew it wasn't Sarah. Because everybody thought Sarah was the witch. So I'm glad they kind of explained that and saying that, no, now you see that. And then also, the book says that the body's underneath the tree, but they realized that the reason why it's not underneath the tree because it got moved, and they kind of explained that on there. So I'm kind of glad they did all that, and it made sense to me. It wasn't as forced as the first one on there, so yeah, I enjoyed it on there. So
with that said, closing out on that statement, what was it that you gave part 2, a 4.5 or a 4?
I think it's a 4.5, but 4.2 to 4.5.
All right, so what For good old sakes, what are you giving this one?
A 3.7.
And that's still higher than what I would tell you will give it. I'm giving it a 4.
You gave the other one a 4 too, right? So this one's just as good as the second one.
I gave the other one a 4 or a 3.5.
I know you didn't give it 3.5 because you said it was a good movie. You either gave it a 4 or a 4.5.
Either way, I'm giving this one a 4. Yeah.
So you thought that this movie was just as good as the second movie?
Yeah, a little bit better. I like more those when it goes back into those dark times, like the witch trials and stuff like that. I enjoy when they go into that time period, like in movies or series, anything related.
Yeah, I think they did their point and they did a good job, and it was a very enjoyable movie to watch on there. So like I said, even though with the first one, I enjoyed it on that.
So on that note, folks, if you enjoyed this Halloween episode of Fear Street Part 3, 1666, make sure to check out the other Halloween episodes on Spotify at 60XP.
Yes, and we do have the first 2 episodes, so if you have not listened to that yet, you go back and listen to that. Also, if you want to watch the movie, you can go on Netflix, and all 3 of them on Netflix on there. So,
also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook at the 60XP.
Yes, it's always good to follow us. We always have some neat news when it comes to movies or Netflix or anytime, anime or gaming. We'll always put stuff up there. So please follow us on our Facebook page.
So for now, this is 6 about.
Thank you for watching. This is Sarah from the 60XP. If you enjoy, make sure you subscribe and push on the notification bell to get notified for all new videos that come out. Later.